This is Ridiculously Happy Ppl. I'm Sophia Lemon, photographer and professional shit disturber. I want you to be more ridiculously happy people. That's what this show is all about, and my guests and I are swapping stories about breaking the cultural rules that get in the way. In this episode, I'm talking with social worker Olayinka Madimadola about family connections across generations, cultural differences in parenting, and mental health and personal responsibility. If you love heartfelt and thoughtful conversations, tap that follow button and keep listening. What makes you ridiculously happy, Olayinka?
When you ask that question, what immediately pops into my head is one thing, but I'm also thinking it's changed over years, right? It's been a lot of different things, and but right now in this phase that I am, it's my granddaughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, who is just under 2.
Mm-hmm.
And just following that journey. She's my only biological granddaughter. I do have a lot of, grandchildren.
Yeah.
But she's my first biological. It's just such an amazing life expanding experience. It's different from when you become a mother, because when you become a mother, it's another time for me, it was another time of lots of joyfulness. There's this feeling of creating something like it's like no other feeling, but this is different. This is different, looking at it from a place of the grandparent, being blessed enough to have been present at the time of her birth in the hospital, right there, experiencing a mother go through the process of labor. And which wasn't fun. It was not fun at all.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't fun. But to get to that point where she comes out and you look at this life and it's like nothing other. It's like there's nothing comparable to this new life being created, and watching her grow, and the milestones, the little ones, the smile, the movement of the lips.
Yeah.
When the eyes open wider than it was open, when she was sucking her thumb. And she graduates from sucking her thumb to becoming a really good expert at sucking the breast.
Okay.
and just dunking the thumb's no longer interesting.
Yeah.
And becoming this, now I know, the difference between my thumb and the breast, and I can make a decision for which one I want.
That's interesting.
Yeah, to just the movement of that reaching for you, that holding on to your fingers, and just that, the feeling of that, that firm hold, that I know I'm here, I know somebody else is here, that, and to me being a Muslim, in my tradition, we have to shave the hair of a newborn. Okay. And, and a mother coming from a different religious belief, but open to this concept, and just seeing her hair shaved, and then watch it go back.
Yeah.
Go back, and just, and as I'm talking, the things, some of the things that may give you that joyfulness is, my son is the father. So just watching her. There was an incident where he was holding her in his hand, and she just peeled in his face. I was so like, whoa! So like, and I'm cheering her. This is so. Oh, I said, this is so good. This makes me feel so good right
that's
now.
Hysterical. Well, I assume he did that to you.
You know what he did to me was, I'm sure he did lots. Like he peed in my face several times. It became Richard, right? I was, open the diaper, I'm like, but one thing that he also did to me that I'll never forget was giving my baby watermelon.
Yep.
And he just, he just went for more and more and more.
Uh-oh.
And I put him in the stroller and we headed to the mall.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw something red in his diaper. And I tell you, I died in that moment and came back because I thought it was pooping blood.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that would be scary.
Oh my God. It was the scariest thing ever. I thought it was, and then I'm like, all this redness, like he had pooped all the watermelon that and it took a moment to realize this was watermelon because I was in real big mood. I can laugh about it now.
Oh yeah.
But it definitely was not funny. He did that to me.
I imagine it was not funny in the moment for sure.
No.
That's interesting. Do you think that's like why being the grandparent is such a rewarding experience in a different way? Because like you don't have all of the other things like the birth and the exhaustion and the poopy diapers all the time.
And yeah, but it's so different, but because you're from a distance and this time around you can just do all the pampering.
Yes.
And just enjoy in these days of videos and pictures and you can take in all the really good moments and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you just watch from afar and knowing that there's a connection there.
Yeah.
For you. It's it definitely it is different. It's a beautiful thing. And also watching your own child erect and just derive pleasure from that and feel proud of what they are doing. And yeah, it's amazing. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, so that's something that makes me ridiculously happy. So she's now under 2. She's almost 2, and she's doing like lots of fun stuff.
Okay, like what's she doing?
Oh well, there is the Troya Mom's High Heels.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Already, jeez.
Oh yeah. And
I can't even do that.
And walking it and walking towards the mirror and actually doing this poses in front of them.
That's so cute. I can't even stand in high heels. That's so cute.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, my God, so soon already.
Yeah.
And just going into a mom's makeup desk table and just like using the lips.
Way.
How would you not laugh? How would you not just be happy at that? And sometimes just making a big mess. So maybe drinking a yogurt and it's all over her face, right? It's like, wow. Okay. And she's doing it like with grace, like there's no care in the world, and making this face, having yogurt all over her face, and just doing a thing. Like
that is really funny. That's so cute. So I don't remember. So you're originally from Nigeria, correct? Yeah. Did you raise your kids there or here?
My first was 2 when I came here, and she's now 31.
Yeah. What are the differences you're seeing in parenting
Yeah.
between there and here?
Oh, big time.
Big?
Like
Cool.
huge, 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 huge.
Yeah.
Um, Parenting there involves, it's more communal
Yeah.
than it is here. It's so I remember having that's interesting. I remember having my daughter and having just family members just moving to my home.
Yeah.
Like my sister, my husband's little sister, my mother-in-law was there a lot of times. My mom was there a lot of times, and friends, and all they come to do was help. Most of the time, all I had to do was complain. All I would do is like, I don't like how you did that. Like, you could do that different. Oh, if I would. And just being pampered and just and taking things for granted too, because it's like, okay, you should sit up like, no, I'm looking at it from this angle now, because now I've been here. Because when I came here and I had my son, who was just talking about, with daughter, we're just talking about, I was on my own. And I cried every day.
Yep.
And I called home each time and I would say thank you.
Yeah.
Because that was when I realized the value of what I was gifted.
Yeah.
That I just took for granted.
Yeah.
So I had people just pamper me, make my food, clean my home, make my bed, take my baby, and most of the time, all I had to do was breastfeed and play.
Yeah.
That was my lot. I don't know if that's a lot, everybody's lot, but communal parenting is there. The expectation is that, and I did it for people. I did it for my big sister. I did it for my aunties. I did it for my cousins when they have the babies moving to their home. I just do stuff. So it wasn't new. It's just what you do. That's
so funny because you see that here. Like if in-laws were going to move in with their kids when you had a baby, it's like, no, we don't want you to move in. No. And I think that's a major mistake that we make in our culture. Because I don't know how you have a child and then don't sleep for 18 years. That's nuts.
Maybe it's not, but it's what it is. It's what's here, right?
It is.
And sometimes it's what you know is just what you know.
Yeah.
What you don't know sometimes don't hurt you. This is just the way it is. I'm just going to be here and take care of my baby, and this is how it's going to be. For whatever reason, it's not. Now, where it's interesting is because of the movement, the world becoming a global village, where there's movements and there's cultural overlaps. There's intermarriages all over different cultures, and so now we have no choice but to see what I perceive as normal overlap with what somebody else perceives as normal. And that's where sometimes conflict can show up, because now I'm like, move into my home, like, what? And somebody is saying, thinking, this is what I'm expected to do. You have a baby, I'm packing my bags, right? Yeah. There's no calling you to say I'm just packing my bag and moving, right? So it's like, and I'm thinking, why would there even be a question of me packing my bag and moving in? This is what I do.
Yeah.
Right? This is what I was raised to do.
Yeah.
So it's that conflict is happening, but is one right or wrong? Maybe some provide, maybe some provide some ease in a different way, because in-laws moving in too is not necessarily always sweet and dandy. Right?
True. That might be true.
Yeah, it's not always. For me, I'll say I was blessed. And a lot of people can relate to the joyfulness and the help. But you know what? Like I was saying earlier, I complained.
Yeah.
I wasn't complaining about my in-laws being in my home. It was, when I say complain, I know I make a big deal of it. I was appreciative, but it was just, to me, it was just normal. This is what you do. You want. Yeah. And I went for my first daughter. We were in the era of cloth diapers.
Okay. Yes.
Right. So my complaint would be like, oh, this diaper, you should have added a little bit more bleach.
Oh.
That's what I mean by I would complain. Oh, you know what? The toys are lying on the floor. It's just so, and I took them for granted that this is what they do, because it was taken for granted when I did it too. And I didn't think there was anything wrong. Like if my big sister says, hey, what are the toys doing on the floor? So I'm like, okay, let's get to work.
Yeah.
Right? That's normal. But there will be conflict in homes where, because there's also conflict, cultural overlaps between the two families too who are coming together, right? And the way my husband's home, the culture in their homes, definitely there'll be some differences in the way I was raised and how things were done for me. So that might happen. All right. My mother-in-law, like pillows. My mother-in-law, she's just like, she can be super detailed in like tidiness, right? So she would open up my pillows.
Okay.
Like so she will open up the pillows, with the what wraps the pillow in, like the fluffy things. She will open up and dunk the fluffy things and dry them in the sun, and she will wash the pillow covers.
Okay.
I never had that in my home. So I'm like, oh, wow. So if somebody was doing that much for me, I'm just like, oh, this woman is too particular, right?
Yeah.
That would be like, hey, she just washes everything. But now coming to Canada and having to, after a C-section, wash my own bathtub. Yeah. Take care of my baby, my 2-year-old, and my new baby, and while my husband's trying to figure out how to put food on the table. Yeah. And I still have to figure out, how the students are fed, So it became more like, wow.
Yeah. Did you say you had a C-section with your son?
Oh, yeah. I had C-sections with all my births. My births. Oh, yeah. All 3 were C-sections.
Well, that would definitely be exhausting with no help.
I'm here now.
Well, now you have grandkids, so.
Now, yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
That's interesting. Yeah. So you said that, I don't know how familiar your son would be with the cultural differences between how kids were raised in Nigeria versus here. Is he familiar?
Well, he was raised by me.
Well, yes. I mean, with newborns and the family helping and all of that, right?
And they have a story,
Okay.
but they, they they just experience what they experience, right?
Yeah.
Like for me, I can't see myself moving in
Yeah.
like kids, right? I can't. Even that's what I can see me spending time with them
Yeah.
if it works for them.
Yeah.
But it has to work for both of them. It has to be something.
Yeah.
I did move to see her being born and to help because she's not in Canada, to see her being born and to, help for like a few weeks and then out, which I was able to provide that support.
Yeah.
But life goes on. I have to come back to work, right?
Yeah.
Come back to life, and they have to survive on their own.
Yeah.
So, but she happens to be blessed that she also has a mom who's been there all this time for her, which she absolutely enjoys and appreciates.
Yeah.
So life just unfolds the way that it unfolds for different people. And it's, what do you see? What do you embrace? What do you focus on? Right? I mean, I raised my two other children here without the extra. If that's a lie, actually, that's a big lie. Because it's a big lie because I just had my son. Actually, what we're talking about, I just had my son. I was on my own, and then my mom showed up, and she's never left.
Yeah.
So she lives with me now, and so I didn't raise my baby by myself. I had my mom, and I had my mother-in-law too, because she was here too. So they moved in. They moved in.
Yeah. It still happened. You moved across the planet, and they still moved in with you.
Moved in, and my mother-in-law was there for years and years and years, and my mom's still here. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so they've helped me through my baby, who is the third, who is now 21. And so that's been my life. Right?
Yeah. Is your 21-year-old still your baby? Like, is that...
My baby is 21 now.
Yeah. Is that how you look at your 21-year-old, as the baby?
It's going to be my baby forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this...
It doesn't describe itself as baby anymore, but...
Well, I have this idea that, like, moms, and I might be wrong for different people, but that, like, moms look at the youngest child as that child's just always going to be the baby.
They are all always going to be my baby.
Yeah.
Always, right? I don't think I look at him as baby, like baby to be baby.
Yeah.
It's just... is the baby of the family.
Yeah.
So it's just the baby of the family. That's all. That's just his position in the family. Right?
Do you have to remind them on a regular basis? You are my baby. Deal with it.
Yes. Oh, because they, I think at age 2 is something a baby in his mind. It was like ready to be the adults and like, I know what I'm doing. Kind of attitude.
That's when it happens, right? Like, as soon as they become a toddler and they can walk and they learn that word no.
I remember an incident where I had brought my son. I think he wasn't 3 yet. I brought him to a shoe store. I was trying to buy him a pair of shoes, and I had him on definitely wasn't 3 yet because I was holding him. And I was looking at shoes, and by then my older children already had opinions. So I was videoing the shoe that I picked for him, to show his older siblings, because I dare not bring shoes home unless they approved it. And I was saying, you know what? Look at, here's the shoe I'm thinking of picking for Ridwan, and my son, so like my baby and my aunt says, that's girl's shoes. Man.
No way.
I'm like, oh, okay.
He wasn't 3 yet?
He was, no, it wasn't. And
That's
was
wild.
Very, very picky. Like he knew what he wanted. He knew what he would not wear Nigerian attire.
Oh.
He does now, but he would not.
Oh, interesting.
He would not. He would pick his own. He knew what he wanted to wear. He knew he would not. You could not make him. Like, he would cry the whole house down.
That's interesting. At what point did he start wearing Nigerian attire?
Oh, not too long ago.
Oh.
Not too long ago, maybe even like 3 years.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah. No. Maybe about 3 years ago. Yeah. 3-4 years ago.
Okay, I'm curious then, like, how much of that is like peer pressure from watching the kids around them and what they're wearing. That's so funny.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Because they want to belong, right? They don't want to stand out. So it's the way they're functioning that time. It's what feels right for them. Right? Don't we all experience peer pressure and, kind of try to conform at some point? So experiencing peer pressure is just part of life. Right? It's just how do you manage it? How do you walk through it? How do you recognize what pressure you're going to succumb to, which one you're going to move, distance yourself from? And it's a process, right? You grow through it, you learn through it, you make choices.
How much of that have you experienced?
What? Of what?
Like the desire to fit in.
It's an everyday thing, right?
Yeah.
The desire to fit in. I think I should look at that from how I have lived my life. I think I have lived my life in a way that, I've been called things like dare to be different.
Okay.
I believe I'm really, really good at saying no to peer pressure.
Yeah.
And allowing myself to be me. I'll give you an example. So in my culture, we have this, I don't know what time, we have this practice where we are partying people. We love parties.
Okay.
Like, we enjoy, Nigerians love partying. And I enjoy partying as well.
Yeah.
But we have this culture where when we're having a party, you go for, people would go into like a uniform kind of attire where you all wear the same thing. Like the celebrant will say, this is what I want you to wear, this is how much it will cost, and so this is what makes you feel like you belong.
Yeah.
That makes you feel classy. Or I don't like it.
Okay.
I just don't like it. I have no problem with people who like it, but I don't like it. I don't even like wearing the same thing with my husband, which is a really it's a very alive practice. Okay. So, but the mentality is that when you're not wearing what everybody else is wearing, kind of don't belong, you're of a lesser class.
Interesting.
Maybe you don't have the money to buy it, makes it look
Okay.
like it. But I have always been able to say, no, I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And and like that have been labeled, she knows who she is and she's not going to join. Don't even take it to her because she's not going to buy.
Yeah.
So that would be an example of I don't conform easily to peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I have a mind of my own. I'm not afraid to express it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also love playing the devil's advocate.
Oh, that's such a dangerous quality to have. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, go on. Do you have an example of that?
That drives my husband nuts.
Okay, yep, that's a good example.
Because I always believe that there is always multiple perspectives to just a situation.
Yeah.
And when I'm in conversation with somebody who seems to think, they have their opinion, that the opinion is fine.
Yeah.
But I am that person who will say, what if?
Yeah.
What if? Like, and a lot of times people tend to think, I'm right. I am right. And this is the only, like, no.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see, people fuming.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, why are you even thinking like that? And I'm going, because my brain is made for thinking, right? It's supposed to be able to explore.
Also, I would say that a lot of the beliefs that we have are culturally based. So we have adopted them based on what we've been taught, right? So I think there's even plenty of things in any particular culture where, there could be differing opinions, but people cannot break from what they have been told is right. And we see that all of the time. Certainly, we're seeing that watching everything that's unfolding to the south at the moment. That's interesting. And that would be a certain amount of like conforming to the masses, like trying to fit in, like you don't want to think too differently from other people because what will they think about you? Or what could the negative impact be?
And you said earlier, you said that can be a dangerous thing, and it can be, and it has burned me a lot of times. I've been burnt a lot of times. Work, life, parenting, friendship. I'll give you an example, which is a very dangerous line that I'm treading right now, career-wise, is okay.
I'm ready.
It's the trend now around childhood trauma.
Okay.
The impact of childhood trauma on the society.
Okay.
I believe that childhood trauma is now, and I'm a mental health specialist. I'm a mental health professional, and I respect the experience of everybody. I just think it's maybe overused.
Yeah, I have thoughts on this too. So I'm glad we're going here.
Yeah, and I know it may be, and I think unfortunately it may, because of that, be impacting relationships that could be beautiful.
Yes.
But rather creating negativity.
Yeah.
And I sit down with myself a lot of time. I'm thinking, this era is at some point going to be dubbed the era where parents were attacked.
For sure. Yeah.
Because things would now be seen differently at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of damages has been done.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's childhood trauma. Yes, there are parents who should not parent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But is it really as prominent as everything is impacted by childhood trauma?
So I would say that we are the result of our learned experience. And I think we look at the word trauma as being like such a big thing, that when you assign it to like events in our lives that were not violent or, you know, horrifically impactful in our lives, but they had an impact, it kind of takes the power out of the word a little bit. I think for me, the issue that I have with all of the childhood trauma, and something, for example, that's always bothered me about Bell Let's Talk Day, is that we have major mental health issues in our culture, but it seems to me that they are often used as a reason to not improve, you know, like people want to hold on to them rather than to let them go or heal from them. Yeah. Which can be a difficult thing to say too, because yes, people are in a lot of pain, but I mean, at some point you gotta.
I don't know that people want to hold on, but I think that as human beings, sometimes some things work for us, and sometimes. But then, what's the weight? What's the impact of how it's working versus how it would work differently?
Yeah, I agree.
What in our experiences can we leverage as opportunity for growth versus a reason to be stuck? Right? So it's perspective. This is hard. This is challenging. This is difficult. But can I grow from it?
Yeah.
Versus the choice to be here and stay in it. But then you have to question too, how much is the choice to stay in it within your control? What's impacting that decision, right? Are these things that are really within your capacity, or are there other limiting factors? For example, so let's say somebody's struggling with anxiety. Let's just say, what's causing that anxiety to happen? Is it because they are, they have a new boss who's not understanding? The workload is high. They are working in a team that's, that's toxic, for example. And now their response to the situation is being anxious, being easily irritated, being tired, being exhausted, being confused because nothing they do is now right? So when we look at this individual, I say, oh, they're struggling with them. They are now they're labeled to have anxiety. This is the new label. What about everything else that's contributing to fuel this? This person 2 years ago was functioning quote and unquote normal, and now they have anxiety. They are this person struggling with anxiety, and it becomes me. It becomes she's an anxious person. Is she really an anxious person, or is it the circumstances around it?
Yeah.
That's leading to the process of anxiety? Is it this person that we need to treat, or do we need to manage the environment?
Yeah. Both, I would say, probably.
Both, but a lot of times, if you take away, a main boss, and you have a functioning team, and your workload is manageable, you probably don't need anything to treat here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Well, I would guess that, for example, in a workplace, let's be honest, in most of these situations, if you have a non-functioning team, the team members will be removed, the boss will stay there, right? I would imagine that team member that got removed will probably find themselves in the same sort of situation over and over again, and that boss will probably wind up with the same employees over and over again. Does that make sense? So my last relationship was very dysfunctional. I think you and I talked about this in like one of our first calls. Very dysfunctional. And my ex had some mental health challenges himself that I was not equipped to help him with. And I have learned to take responsibility for the fact that if I was a different person, he might have been able to deal with his mental health issues in a different way. Like I definitely exacerbated some issues for him. But so there were things that both of us needed to work on in that case. But I would expect that someone who is prone to being anxious with a dysfunctional partner or dysfunctional employer, they might find themselves in those situations over and over again. Like they'll wind up with the dysfunctional boss again and be in the same position. And then the boss will wind up with the anxious employee again,
They might, because that's life.
Might, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They might. But is there recognition that
that's a good question.
when they wind up with a more functional boss, that they are showing up differently? There's a version of them that shows up differently when they're interacting with a more mindful boss and a functioning team.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Right? But the other thing is the best of us who has never had to interact be in that space, who is nurtured, who is, who's just happened to have everything fall in place forever for them. And in our eyes of the world, they are just this optimally functioning person who just have no taint whatsoever. Who is to say if you dump them in a dysfunctional environment, you would not see a different version?
Oh, I believe that. I think it's more likely that the people who have gone through those experiences are more capable of dealing with them the second time around. But I think it's that recognition part that they need to, think for themselves. That thing that you were saying about, making your own decisions, using your own brain,
Yeah, and it's called, what you're talking about is what in my mental health approach practice we call your resources and the history of the outcome. And I practice the solution focused approach, and we have this thing called. So when somebody is struggling emotionally, a lot of other ways, but let's say emotionally in this instance, they have a history of difficulties that they have survived. They have strengths that they have used to survive those difficulties, and they have accumulated all of this. And even as we speak, even as they get up and say, I'm booking a session to go address what's going on with me. There are resources present that they are using in that moment. And all of this comes from the experience. They were talking about the choices made, the choices that work, the things that help them hold firm so that they survived that last one. Is it just all gone? No, it's still in them. So this is where we get stronger, we become experienced, we become skilled in managing whatever it is that we're managing. Because we have all of this. So that person that was never, that has had things just easily handed over to them, may actually be a lot more vulnerable when situation arises compared to that person who's weathered the tough times. Maybe overcome addiction, maybe some really serious illnesses. Maybe they've been fired from their work 5 times, and for the 6th time, they now have to look for another job. But they've become a pro at finding new resources and finding new jobs as they've been fired.
Yes.
Right?
I think for me, it's the personal responsibility part. That when people can recognize the part they play in things and that they have choices and that they can choose differently. I think when people put all of the blame from a situation external to themselves, then they're going to run into problems. Like they're going to end up in the same situation again. Because we always have a choice, right? Like, I don't know if you talk to your clients about this, but we always have a choice we always have choices, even in feelings, like we can choose to feel one way or another, as impossible as some believe that to be,
Always. We always do, even when we think we don't.
Yeah.
We always do have choices. But that does not take away the impact of the external, right? The external can make it easier to make that choice. And a lot of times we have to make difficult choices, right? And sometimes it's just being able to say, within my space is the external and the me. And what am I capable of influencing? And recognizing that the external is the external. What can I influence? What can I change? What can I control? And at times, just focusing on this. I can go to bed at 9 p.m. Is what's within my control. I don't know that I'm going to fall asleep, but I can go to bed. Right? That's a choice. And maybe it looks like a little choice. I can choose to turn my phone off when I go to bed. Is a choice. Versus there's so much going on social media now. I can't get myself out of it. Right? So we always have a choice, even when we don't think we do. But sometimes empathy comes from the recognition that people are impacted by the external.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's where empathy comes from. Empathy comes from giving the acknowledgement that somebody is making a hard choice. just that recognition. Sometimes that means the difference between black and white.
Mm-hmm.
You can't wait for it because sometimes you have to make choice, even if you're not receiving the empathy, right? You still have to make a choice for yourself. But it can make, when it comes to how we impact each other, can it make a difference?
How often in your work do you find that people just need that empathy, like the acknowledgement of their feelings, and like that's it? That's all they need?
No.
No?
That's not the way my work
No,
works.
darn it.
No, doesn't work like that.
That's too bad.
I wish it does.
Yeah.
Empathy is something that you just carry it with you, regardless of what somebody's situation is. Everybody deserves empathy, regardless. And I'll give you like a really terrible example. Even somebody who's murdered somebody else, we can still show them empathy. We're not acknowledging what they've done. We're not endorsing their behavior, but are we able to view them from a place of empathy?
I think that's really lacking in this part of the world. We suck at that.
But it's not going to solve the problem. It's not going to mean they don't get consequence for behavior, because behaviors have, if all behaviors go without consequence, that's something else. That's another story, right? Maybe for another day. But can we just live life with empathy towards the other? Absolutely. Do I, in the work that I do, there's more to be done beyond empathy, beyond just showing empathy. It's looking at different scenarios.
Yeah.
On an individual basis, in supporting people who what resources are present. What needs to be viewed differently. What needs to start happening that is not happening. What's been happening that needs to be kept. In workplaces, what are the policies? You can take that out. What does the organization say that you agreed to when you decided you accepted the offer of employment, right? So all of that has to go together. And how do we place the human being in that, in the policy? Yeah.
I think that's something we miss. I'm not super familiar with other parts of the world, but certainly here, like, I know we have an increasing issue with people on the street, for example, and by and large, we look at them as, drug addicts. And we want to sweep them under the rug so that we don't see them. And I find that our culture lacks the ability and skill to step in and help. Like you could never change anyone else's behavior or make them better, but I feel like there's a certain amount that we're missing in, holding people accountable to, I don't know, taking care of themselves. Yeah, holding people accountable to taking care of themselves.
I'm not sure what I'm getting from that or what you're trying to put across when you say holding people accountable to take care of themselves, and you come from a place of people living on the street.
So we have, drug addiction issues in this part of the world, and people don't get there just out of nowhere, out of, pleasure. I want to do these things because I enjoy it. We wind up with people with mental health issues, and, they get develop addiction issues, and we kind of wait for people to ask for help. And if they ask for help too many times, or they don't ask for help, then we put them off to the side and we will not help them. We don't, as a culture, step in and help them or hold them accountable in an empathetic way. Hold them accountable in an empathetic way.
That's a you know what, I would be curious around what yours holding them accountable in an empathetic way mean to you.
Well, I have no idea because I have not observed that happening a whole heck of a lot, but I do remember watching How to Change Your Mind. Have you seen that on Netflix?
No.
So Michael Pollan he has the book How to Change Your Mind, and there's a 4-part docu-series on Netflix, and it's about psychedelic drugs and the use of psychedelic drugs in mental health rehabilitation. And the last episode is on peyote, and I remember he's speaking with indigenous communities who use peyote to help with mental health rehabilitation. And he talks to people who were addicted to drugs. And the thing that stuck out to me was these people would say, like, the community came together and said, no, you're not doing this anymore. We're going to help you, kind of thing. And obviously that person has to agree to a certain extent. They have to do the work, but there was an expectation that you are going to participate in this because we care. And we don't do that. We just let people, and it becomes, not in my backyard.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does make sense. But I guess you mentioned something. It's also the journey of how did we get here.
It's all the parents, Olayinka. The parents are to blame.
It's the parents' fault, right?
It's the parents. Well, several thousand years.
Yeah, of a lot of different things that at the center of it is the lack of empathy.
I mean, yeah, I would, yeah.
Selflessness, and that greed to accumulate wealth. The self-individuals. This is the heart. These are the heart of it, and that selfishness, and that greed, and that fuels and you're taking it somewhere else. The fuels human beings maltreatment to others because it works for them is at the root of all this.
Yeah.
And you're taking me to slavery. Maybe that's not where we want to go. Where did maltreatment start? Where did the dichotomy of power and powerlessness start, and how much root has it taken? While we are mindful of, we don't want to externalize the reasons that people are deeply seated in issues, we can close our eyes to the fact that these things have roots. And sometimes a lot of times choices are impacted by your environment. What kind of resources is available to family living in this area of, this neighborhood versus the other neighborhood? How does that impact their growth? Of course, that poor neighborhood will have like the exception that, just shoots out and just gets into the limelight and become this person But that's the exception.
Yeah.
In the other neighborhood where the resources are present, where it's nurtured, it's watered, it's fertilized, you will see the odd ones that fall short.
Yeah.
Where does it start? Before we even get to treatment, what about what we're creating?
Yeah.
How do you? I mean, it's the easiest thing is to treat the symptom. It's always way, way deeper than the symptom. So I have this analogy that I liken every human being to a cow.
Okay.
So when the day we're all born, and I might have shared this with you before, I don't remember. The day we're born, we are all like new cars or new vehicles. Maybe we're like a Mercedes or a Dodge Caravan or a Toyota or maybe a scooter even. It's a new engine scooter, right? But we're new.
Yeah.
Now, the Mercedes engine versus the trailer engine versus the Volkswagen engine, right? They all come in different capacities. They're new. And the bicycle engine, right? And some of us will come with factory defect. Still new.
True.
Right? And now let's dump all of this engine in different environments. The Mercedes engine is, just organically known to be expected to be strong, right? And do a really wonderful job. Maybe Tesla now do a wonderful job, but dump it into a space. So if they all place in the same environment, they'll probably perform based on their capacity, according to the factory. But if you now place the Mercedes engine in a place where it's never oiled, never washed, never taken to the mechanic, it's it's taken into like the roughest route you can think of. And you don't take care of it. But you now have a Volkswagen engine that's been cleaned, taken to the mechanic, oil change, engines, engines tuned up regularly, interior and exterior work being done. Guess what's going to happen to both of them? In 10 years' time.
Yeah.
So we have our engine, but we also have the environment. So you can take one from the other. So what kind of environment has been influenced for these people on the street?
Oh, I agree.
While we're focusing on they on the street, we should help them. How did we even get here?
Yeah.
Of course we should, but how did we get here? And what are we doing right now that's creating that or worse for another 10 years? What's being created for the future?
Yeah.
Right now, based on that. So it's almost like it's like an unending.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when, I mean, I would say that our environment definitely contributes to that because we place all of the blame on the individual person and we don't consider the environment. There's no part of the environment that is helpful to that individual who is struggling. And we are like actively fine with that, which is wild to me.
I mean, there are some things that are thrown out there and they're supposed to be helpful,
Yeah.
But when you actually look at it, what are we kidding?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Are they really designed to help, or are they designed to make noise and seem like they're helping?
Yeah.
Who's benefiting from this looks like it's helping? Because at the end of the day, it comes to, well, if I throw out that program, I'm going to be seen as.
Yes.
And that becomes one of the titles that I now collect. It's, it's part of my degrees. I have this.
Yeah.
But I created this. Like an MBA, like an MBA, master's degree, or, all of these labels. It's complex.
Well, the world is very complex. Also, you asked the question, like, where do we start? And I mean, the world's already rolling. Like, we're pretty far into it at this point. So, like, where do you start? Like, all you have control over is yourself. Obviously, it's nice to change environment, but sometimes you have to change your own environment. Like, pick yourself up and put yourself somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we can't, like you say, what do you have control of? And we cannot minimize what people are doing to try. People who are putting effort in cannot be minimized and just discounted.
For sure.
Maybe that's why we haven't gone beyond where we are. That's me. Sometimes that makes a difference to one person, 10 people not fixing it. But certainly there are people who are genuinely doing good and making effort and reaching out and very well-meaning and really valuing people and trying to make a difference in their own little way. So can we ignore that? Can we stop doing because we think there's other doings that's making things worse? No.
Agreed. More love.
More love.
Earlier, did you say one of the things that you've been burned by is war?
I was born in a year where there was civil war in my country. But no, I don't remember it. I don't have any recollection of it. My mom shares stories, my dad shares stories of it, but luckily they were not in the heart of where it was happening.
Good.
But I have read stories of slavery. And I have had the opportunities to sit with people who are impacted by slavery. And I have met a lot of people in my line of work that I have been privileged to meet a lot of people who have been burnt by war. And who still carry the mark.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember listening to a podcast and there was an excerpt from a conversation with the Dalai Lama, and someone asked him a question about war. How do we be passive if there are also people in the world who are doing these atrocious things? And he said the only way those things will stop is if we all collectively decide to not do those atrocious things, instead to love people. And that was really frustrating for the people asking the question, because it's not a practical step-by-step guide to how to stop war.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it is literally the only way.
Anyway.
We could never make the decision on behalf of all humans on the planet that there will be no more war, because in order to do that, you have to force people into thinking that way, which is the opposite of what you're trying to achieve.
It's not only the opposite of what we're trying to achieve, it's also because those who do not want the war are not in a position to stop it. Right?
Yes.
You don't want the war. I don't want the war. The war, it circles back to what we were talking about earlier, the self-centeredness, the greed, the power differential, the greed for power, powering over is at the center of war. Regardless of the motivation, like different ideas are thrown into the world as, this is what we want you to hear and see, because this is why we're starting this. In this caucus of this, this our caucus of we are in control of this. It's a different thing. It's a different reason. And those people don't want to, because there is some benefit in there for them. That, that you and I have, we don't feel like we are useful. We don't, I'm going to assume that we don't see the need to accumulate this humongous amount of wealth at the expense of whoever, regardless. We probably don't see the need to just simply, as powering over is the only way we can be. We are thinking we could all live together in happiness. But it doesn't, it's the same thing as there's always multiple perspectives to different things. Some people just see that this is the only way they can live well, is by powering over. And they're going to do their damnness to make sure that continues. And they're going to pass it on and pass it on and pass it on. Whereas there's always going to be this group who think, why do we have this? Why? Like I always say, if I have the capacity, I want to research what's going on in the head of the people who just have this desire to power over. And, just power over in a lot of different ways, whether it's by money, by physical power, by, governance power. But there's just desire to loom larger than others. Some of it fits what we, the descriptives of the narcissist tendency.
Yeah.
Some of it goes out of it and beyond. But I'm always curious as to what exactly is going on in the head of somebody who sits down and says, you know what? It will give me more, it will give us more power to destroy these people and take from them what they have. Instead of thinking, you know what, there is actually enough in the world for all of us. There's enough. If we just all choose to, what are our needs? Our needs are food, shelter, transportation, some relaxation, right? Or break.
Yeah.
And that's what we need in our 24 hours, all the time. Food, shelter, relaxation, a place to hide our head. And regardless of how big it is or how small it is, that's all that we need. So what is it? What is it that make some people say, you know what? I don't care who dies. I don't care who becomes addicted. I don't care who lose their children. I don't care, how much, I don't care how much destruction goes into, I get a bigger portion.
Yeah.
I would love to have like millions of dollars and just devote it to researching what's going on in that head.
Yeah. You might never find out.
Why not?
Well,
my hope for that research is actually so that I can change them.
yeah. Well, it's interesting because they probably don't know why. They probably don't know why they're like that. I think probably if they knew why, I think they would behave differently.
Maybe they don't even know there's anything wrong with what they are doing. Right? They feel it's the way to live, and the rest of you just don't know the way you should live, right?
Yeah. Well, I want to bring this back around to something positive before we wrap up. So why don't we come back to the kids, because we talked about like more love in the world, and I mean, from what I observe, kids just know how to do that, and they hold you accountable too. If you hurt them, they tell you right away. So it was like, if you had to pick one thing that your granddaughter does with you, what would it be? One thing that makes you feel loved?
Oh, she does a lot of things. So she lives in a different country now. And so a lot of our interactions virtual.
Yeah.
And so the moment we come on the screen, it's almost like she develops this energy and she's running around. She's bringing her toys. She just wants to show me. She wants to show me what she's now doing, like she's writing, or she has this new book that she wants to show. She's like all this energy, and she's running and she's coming back and she's going, Abuela, Abuela. Because Abuela, she speaks Spanish.
Okay.
And it's Abuela, she goes, Abuela, Abuela. And she goes, she's like, so that is, and are you always this energized? So I can just watch her run back and forth and bring whatever it's almost like she was waiting for this, and it's so beautiful for me to just see and watch and see how happy that makes her to come on the screen. And so that's one of the many things that she does.
That's super cute.
Yeah.
Well, and how does it make you feel that you inspire that in her?
How does it make me feel? It makes me feel blessed.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel blessed and grateful.
Yeah.
That, I am opportuned and privileged to have this experience. And I just hope that my influence on her continues to be positive. Yeah.
I love that. That's so cute. Okay. Okay. Olayinka, how would you like people to get a hold of you if they want to get a hold of you?
My phone number.
Okay.
416-893-6754.
That's awesome. Thanks for recording with me. This has been fun.
Thank you. And I know we've been talking heavy subjects. I wonder if that's what comes with being a mentor.
Yeah.
Seeing this is where my mind goes, right? But thank you for the opportunity. It's really nice rubbing minds with you.
That's it for this episode of Ridiculously Happy Ppl. If you want more open and unfiltered conversations like this one, subscribe in your podcast app, rate the show, and leave a little review. I'm Sophia Lemon. I photograph oddballs, underdogs, and rebels in Bruce Grey, Simcoe, and Muskoka. I help my clients create visual triggers that literally make them more ridiculously happy people. You can book a photo session at sophialemon.com and find me on social media at Ridiculously Happy Ppl, and that's spelled PPL. Thanks for listening, and talk to you soon.